Nigeria may go back to their colonial masters indirectly. In case you are not aware, Nigeria just signed an MOU with France concerning this new tax law. So France will be the one in charge. You understand? I'm going to give you a breakdown of everything so that you understand. Now, if you are a student of government, you understand that there is what is called an indirect rule system. So during the colonial era, when Britain was colonizing Nigeria, Lord Lugard was the one that created this administrative structure called the indirect rule system. This is whereby you are being ruled via your traditional rulers, where the British will be ruling you through the traditional ruler that is already existing, you understand, in that land. So they were ruling like that. So you would think that it's your ruler that is ruling you, not knowing that it is another government that is ruling you via your own existing traditional ruler. Now, that aside, Nigeria just signed an MOU with France because of this new tax reform. One thing you need to know about colonialism is that the purpose why you are being colonized is for exploitation. Meanwhile, it's for exploitation. Exploitation in the sense that exploitation of your resources in terms of your mineral resources, and number two, taxation. Those were the two things the colonial master were interested in: to tax you and also to take your resources in terms of mineral resources. Nigeria government, via the Inland Revenue Service, they signed an MOU with France so that this new tax reform they are trying to do in Nigeria, France will not be in charge of the tax, collecting the tax. They will not use their own system and their own technology to collect this tax. They will not be remitting, as in, I'm just telling you the breakdown idea. They will not be remitting back to Nigeria. You know, some days ago, when America said they want to help Nigeria in tackling insecurity in Nigeria, genocide, the government, everybody, even some people who don't know much about government, that they always fall to propaganda. They started saying America wants to take our oil. And I made a statement that if America is interested in your mineral resources, they will not come to you, they will go to the government. If they are interested in your mineral resources, they don't need to come to you. I said there are so many countries that are exploiting our oil currently. They have companies in Nigeria that are mining oil daily, but you are not aware of it. But they sign an agreement with the government. Because why? They won't tell you. They won't tell you. So all those people that are saying that America is coming to carry our mineral resources, they are all propaganda. Those words are propagandists. They are created by those ruling class, you understand, to control you. They are propaganda. Now, in Benin Republic, when they wanted to do a coup, Nigeria sent jets, this one, all were all fueled by France. I knew that this relationship Nigeria is getting with France is going somewhere. It's going somewhere. You understand? Go and check those francophone countries. Most of them are pulling themselves out from France because France is heavily exploiting them. So they are cutting off ties with France. And Nigeria is running to go and sign an agreement with France so that France will not be in charge of using their technology to collect tax. There's no how France will collect tax without having profit, without having percentage. And those people who signed that there's no how they will not have their own personal share from that money. Most of the time, we don't know what they signed. It's what they told you they signed. You understand? That is why I said Nigeria may go back to indirect rule system. We go back to colonialism indirectly. Indirectly. Where you'll be ruled, exploited, but you are not aware. Among all countries, France, to come and be collecting tax. Now, let's see how the papers reported it. Let me read it so that you see how it's being reported through the mainstream media. Nigeria-France signed tax administration pact to drive digital reform ahead of 2026 transition. According to the statement, the partnership also prioritized workforce development, with both countries committing to build professional standards, strengthening human capital, and developing globally competent terms to support the future of public finance administration. The agreement further expands cooperation in international taxation, including information exchange, transfer pricing, and base erosion and profit shifting mechanism. Officials say the enhanced collaboration is expected to deepen transparency, improve enforcement framework, and position Nigeria tax system to greater operational efficiency. The federal government has signed a landmark cooperation agreement with France to accelerate the digital transformation of Nigerian tax administration, boost cross-border enforcement, and strengthen international capacity. The pact, signed by the Federal Inland Revenue Service and France Direction Generale de France Publique, comes just weeks before FIRO's transition into the Nigeria Revenue Service in January 2026. A statement released Wednesday via the presidency official handle on X said the memorandum of understanding focused on modernizing revenue system through improved compliance management, enhanced taxpayer service, and data-driven enforcement. Now you all saw that. So what is the whole idea of all this is that France will now use their own technology to be able to collect this tax Nigeria, you understand? They will use their technology to be taxing Nigeria. They will be in charge of collecting the tax. Then when they collect the tax, they will now remit the money to Nigeria. They said it's for transparency. So okay, and nobody in government is touching the money. France will say, okay, this is what we remitted. This, you understand? I said Nigeria will go back to colonial rule, to colonial masters, indirectly, without knowing. And if you know France very well, you will know how these people are very domineering. You know how I say countries, Francophone countries are pulling out. That fight you saw in Benin, where France and Nigeria were blasting, they were all fighting for, France was fighting for their interests. And I know that Nigeria, for Nigeria to engage like that, they have gotten a close tie with France. And I was just waiting to expect to see something like this. But I didn't know it was coming from this direction. I was like, what is behind this attack that Nigeria just did to Benin Republic? So for me, I feel like this is a very big error. For me, I feel this is a very big error and it's going to cost a lot. It might not be now, it might be later. You will now understand what's going on. There are so many countries. Go and study those Francophone countries. Many have been pulling out. Especially to use of this military rule. They have been pulling out. Many Francophone countries have been pulling out. So France will now be in charge of controlling the tax form. They will now use their own technology to control this new tax that is coming to Nigeria. I don't know what you think about this particular tax. What I just explained is what I think. That Nigeria is going back to colonial, where because one thing you need to know about colonialism is that it doesn't come once. It comes gradually. They will control tax. From tax, they will do this. From this, they will do this. Before you know it, you don't have any power of your own. That is how the colonial master came to Nigeria then. When they came to Africa, Nigeria, or anywhere, they first of all get your leaders via gifts. I know some of you will even be reading. You will see where even with mirror and snap, they took slaves, they took people from their land and left. If you study the transatlantic slave trade, you will like, how we, because of mirror and this king, we just, that is how it is. There's a way these people enter. You understand? They enter as if they want to help you. I don't know, what do you think about this whole issue that is going on? Just put your own thoughts in the comment section. But me, I feel that Nigeria is gradually going back to colonial rule. Some of these policies you are seeing, this MOU, you don't know the danger it is until years to come.
Subscribe to Onika Jesus Boy YouTube channel.